Okay. Third is a charm. Isn't that what they're saying? Is it that what people are saying? Yeah. Let's see if this live stream reaches people because it hasn't. Yeah, I've tried twice, but zero viewers both times. And I don't know why that is. Maybe some glitch in the system. But I will try now a third time and we will see how it goes. Oh, now it seems to be working. Okay, awesome. I don't know why it didn't work, but I'll get straight into it. Yeah. Good morning to everyone. Yeah, I don't know what was going on there. I tried twice and it was set to public. Everything was there, but nobody could see the live stream. But now it seems to be working. So I'm just going to give it a few seconds so that people can join the chat. Um, yeah, yeah, wonderful. Good morning, good evening to everyone in the USA and North America and so on. Sometimes we have people from other parts of the world. I don't know what the time is there right now. Heathen Hammer says, I'm 54 and struggling with loneliness. Yeah, you're not the only one. Horror Business says, middle-aged and single and lonely here. Yeah. I have some numbers here. And let's get straight into it. First of all, when are you middle-aged? Well, actually, when you're around 40, that's when you are statistically in the middle of midlife. You're in your midlife when you're 40. So that's just how it is. I know people that are 40, they don't want to view themselves as middle-aged. But that's just how it is. So some numbers here. And I knew this was an issue, but I looked at the numbers and it's quite stunning and it's changing rapidly. So around 30% of adults aged 30 to 59 are single in the US. I think that around 30%, I don't know which countries, but let's go on here. This is one of those rubbish AI things that pop up here, but they just, yeah, we'll go for those numbers right now, okay? Just to underline the issue here. Projections suggest that by 2030, so in just 4 years, 45% of working age women 25 to 44 in the US will be single and child free. Imagine how that will impact the economy if you project that forward a little bit. Who's going to pay taxes to pay for your pension when you get older? You know, half of single adults in midlife live alone. I figure that rises to 55% if you're aged 50 to 59. 55%. Globally, the number of single people has increased by at least 100 million since 2017. And then the AI rubbish nonsensical thing here suggests some explanations. I don't find that very interesting. But one thing that is interesting is that at least among younger people, a lot more men are reporting to be not only single, but also that they haven't had sex during the last year. Imagine that if you're in your 20s and you haven't had sex in a year, then I would say something is very wrong. But among the women, the number of those who report to be single are only half of those of the men in the same age group, so younger people. So that must mean that those women either hook up with other women. Some people have suggested that, but I don't. As far as I've seen, that number has not risen significantly. So that's not the explanation. So they must hook up with either the same men, a fewer, but the same men. So those few men in that younger age group, they have relationships simultaneously with several women, or those women must hook up with younger or older men. And I don't think they're hooking up with younger men. And when you project that forward, those single men, because it festers, and younger men, they get disillusioned and they end up as single for life, maybe, and lonely. Now, being single and being lonely, those are not necessarily the same. We all know that. And you can be lonely in a relationship and all of that. But statistically speaking, I can't remember the numbers there, but I've looked at that previously. If you are in a relationship, you are statistically more. It's a higher chance that you have a better mental and physical health if you are in a relationship. There is something about that. So, why are people, especially people midlife, reporting to be lonely? And when you reach midlife, let's say you reach your 50s, what men tend to do if they get into a new relationship is that they get into a new relationship with a somewhat younger woman. And now the numbers have flipped as far as I can remember, so that women in their 50s have a harder time finding a partner than men in their 50s. You have to double check me on that one, because that's right off the top of my head and I can't find those numbers now. Maybe I'm wrong, but the point here is that both men and women in midlife are increasingly reporting that they are lonely. And that's not a good thing, because when you are in your 50s, in your 40s and your 50s and beyond, you need good health, because you're more vulnerable. Your immune system is not as strong. We don't like to admit that, but it's kind of how it is. And at that time also, for most people, if they did have children, those children have left or are leaving the nest. So then you're sitting there, and you have nobody. And especially men, they are not very good at maintaining friendships with other men. So maybe they lost their friends during previous years. I have some ideas about why people in their midlife are not finding partners, why they are staying single. A minority want to stay single, but a lot of people, they report to be lonely, and I would guess that if you are lonely, you would like to not be lonely, to kind of have someone in your life. And I think that, and actually the AI crap here did point out that, what does it say here? Higher standards. They don't want, they would rather remain single than settling for someone that they are not entirely happy with as a partner. And I think there's a lot of truth in that. But there's another thing that needs to be talked about here. This is a big lie that it fucking annoys me because it's become part of our culture and it was not always like that. Um, in the West, the Western Hemisphere, we have this lie that, and please follow me through here on my train of thought here. We have this lie that you wake up every day with blank slates. Whatever you did yesterday doesn't matter. I think that it comes from maybe a perception of forgiveness, and it was not always like that. But I think this is not, I know that this is not how the human mind works. We care about our own past, and we also care about the past of a potential partner. And the closer that person will be in your life, the more you care about the past of that person. Now, we don't like to talk about this because we are being judged if we are honest about it, but it's like let's just let's use an example here. Would you have been okay with being with someone as your life partner, your new life partner, someone who had been a heroin addict for 20 years? Honestly, would you be okay with that? That was all in the past, all in the past. Now this person has good moral standards and so on. But would you be okay with that? I think that many people, they want to say yes because that's what we are supposed to say, but if they're being honest with themselves, the answer is no to most people. Um, so this is where it is, and you don't have to write what you really think here in the in the chat, but this is that's just one example, right? Commentary: the past doesn't matter if you love somebody. Well, um, I think a lot of people, honestly, they disagree with that. So the older you get, the more chances you have to screw things up in your life, you know. Um, and and I don't believe in this concept that the past is the past and all of that. Um, I don't believe that is how the human mind works. There will always be something there that makes us uneasy, if you get what I mean. And that one thing there is not being talked about. That one thing there, that people actually do care about your past, is something that maybe men care about it more than women. The women here, do you agree or not? So another example, we're going to get a little bit, make people a little bit uneasy here now. Would you be okay to be, I'm asking the men here, would you be okay with being with a woman who has had 100 sexual partners? Would you be okay with that? That was all in the past. She has good moral standards now. Everything, she's committed to you and all of that. Would you be okay with that? We get some answers here. No, no. And there's Different people will have a different maximum number there, I think. Another no here. Um, and the women again seem to be more forgiving here. So you see how this works, you know? You see how this works because um, another no. There is. I don't know exactly. I can't see from exactly from the nicknames here if there's a man or a woman answering. But what seems to be the thing is that men don't want that at all. Women are more forgiving because it is our culture. Not only our culture, it's our biology as well. But that's another thing that makes it more difficult to find someone when you are middle aged. You know? Um, Laura says women do care about these issues too. Another here is another comment. You can love her, but in no way will she ever love you. And when we are now that we are talking about this, it's controversial because this so-called modern world with feminism and all of that, they want you to believe that it should be the same with men and women. It should be the same. What if he has had? Let's go down a little bit. Especially men, they like to brag a lot about how many sexual partners they've had, and women they tend to downplay it. But statistically, people haven't had many sexual partners. It's not normal. It's actually not normal at all. I will admit that Norwegians are at the top of the statistics every year. Actually, Turkey is even higher, but yeah, I don't know why that is. But anyway, men don't want that, and as you get older, you know that number might rise in the women you meet. There are other things as well, of course. Commitments to children, even grandchildren, that the potential partner might have. Commitments to work. Maybe that person is raging workaholic, and so on and so on. So I think that what we're talking about here is maybe the most important reason that why people in their midlife stay single and lonely, because it's difficult to find someone who are not carrying too much luggage. That's my point. That's my what I was trying to say here. Carola, good morning to you. Let's see here. Let's see. Yeah, when you have 100 sexual partners, no longer just talking sex. That's got real psychological weight. Yeah, I agree. But that's abnormal, of course. And yeah, there are people out there who want to say that that's normal among young people now. It's not. That's not normal at all. I would argue that men put less psychological or emotional. They put less emotions into sex than women do. So you could say that maybe I don't know where I'm going with that, but let's see. Um, where was it? Um, yeah, another commentary. Maybe a better way of putting it: is she capable of love? Is love just a state for her to manipulate you? Um, let's see. The woke Earth Lab says the woke movement and feminism have played a major role in dismantling the traditional family structure. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Jay says hello, Bjorn. Hello to you. Um, let's see here. If you'll only get a dog. Let's see. Yeah, that's just the comment that I was looking for. They wouldn't even tell you they had so many. So we're talking about sexual partners again. I don't know why. What is it about that? I would be a lot more worried if someone had been a heroin addict. Just thinking about diseases and stuff like that. I wouldn't touch any of those candidates. The woman with 100 past sexual partners and the woman who's been a heroin addict, I wouldn't touch any of them with a 10-foot pole. But anyway, stealth mode, welcome as a member to the channel. That's awesome. Um, let's see. Yeah, okay, where was I? Okay, let's see now. Yeah, here was it. So there is another thing here that I find interesting. There was a 2022 survey that indicated that only 34% of single women were looking for a relationship compared to 54% of single men. You know why that is? You know why that is? I think I can pinpoint the exact reason. It's because women, they get their daily dose of attention through social media. A woman out of shape with some skimpy clothing can take a photo of herself, put it on Instagram, and there will be 100 losers, sorry, but that's how I see it, writing, "Oh, you're so beautiful, oh, you're so sexy," and all of that. And that she gets her dopamine hit and she gets to feel that she's desired. It's all fake, of course. Um, I think that's the reason. So yeah, only 34% of single women looking for a relationship compared to 54% of single men. And there's another gender difference here, that women are more highly educated, and a lot of women, they don't want to be with a man who has less education than she has. That's actually a real thing. Um, and yeah, here's the number I was looking for. Among older singles, now among older people, 57 to 85 years old, 27% of men report having a dating partner compared to only 7% of women. So the whole picture has flipped when you get older. There is another thing here that is important. And I looked into this yesterday. The drop in testosterone. Um, where I need to write these numbers down, but I can't remember. But you'll get the picture. So apparently, I'm sure you heard about the drop in testosterone among younger men. And we need to look at younger men to understand, and younger women to understand why people end up single and lonely when they reach midlife, so 40 years old. The drop in testosterone is so significant that a lot of men, like, I can't remember, but it was about 2 digits. Was it, I can't find it, but was it 40%? I think it was, yeah, it was 40%, if I'm not mistaken. Around 40% of 40-year-old men have reoccurring problems with their erection. And it's not a laughing matter, of course. I mean, that must be, if you imagine how that works on someone, it must, so apparently, it must take their self-esteem away. And it's a real problem. I imagine it must lead to depression, and maybe that is a contributing factor why men stay single. I mean, I don't want anyone here to make fun of that problem. It is something that is quite common, apparently, and it seems to have something to do with the low testosterone level in younger men. And why is that? I guess that is a topic for another live stream or video, and I have made videos on my main channel about that, actually 2 videos, I think. Obesity plays a role here, but also other factors. But when it comes to relationships or staying single or not, I will imagine that a man who feels that he can't perform sexually, he will rather stay single. And I can imagine it must be horrible, and it must lead to loneliness. So it's like men, we kind of assume that that's not a problem, but in reality, statistically, it's something that, yeah, 40-year-olds, 40%, if I'm not mistaken, have had problems with that. So I mean, it's a real health issue. So that's another factor, I guess, that is not mentioned here. Now there may be medications for that. I haven't looked into that so much. I don't know, but yeah. I can imagine that must be a reason, contributing factor to so many people staying single and feeling lonely. Let's see here. Yeah. Okay. Another factor here is life changes. Apparently, life changes significant life changes can make you stay single and feel lonely for a long time. So, your parents dying, maybe you get some, you know, um, you have to take care of the home. You have maybe grief and all of that. Your kids moving out. I already mentioned that. These significant life events, they can play a role here as well. Um, so, yeah, what do you think? Um, let's see here. Low testosterone. Greenhouse Lady says low testosterone is a serious problem. I wonder if the reason is phthalates from drinking water from plastic bowls or from cooking food in microwave ovens. Yeah, that has something to do with it, apparently. And I think it's wise to quit eating ultra processed foods, stay away, of course, from soy, and you should have a diet rich in animal fats. You should drop weight, probably. Most people, I guess, if you, as a man, there is if you're obese, the fat transforms your testosterone into estrogen by a process called aromatase, I think. So yeah, quit eating all those carbs, you know. Yeah, somewhere in the Rockies as carnivore or keto helps. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Let's see here. Yeah, Laura says, I think dealing with aging parents can make it hard to find a life partner. No more bread for you, Bjorn. Let's see here. Is YouTube up to its old tricks again? Yeah. Another commenter. I guess my biggest problem has been one of ideology and mental incompatibility. Yeah, we have a commentator says meat eating is unethical, unhealthy, and unsustainable. Another comment: most grains in the West are literally poison to the human body. Well, I can assure you that if you eat a diet consisting of eggs, red meat, chicken, some fish, not Norwegian salmon because that's pure poison. So no farmed fish. You can add some dark green leafy greens as well. Some carbs, maybe some oatmeals for breakfast, something like that. That's a balanced diet, and it is going to rise your testosterone. I use that diet as a powerlifter, and it helps. It has an effect. So, in other words, you a diet high in animal fats and no ultra processed food. Quit sugar. Bike so simple carbs, quit that. It's going to help. Nexus Gaming says, I hear the EU meat is laboratory grown. I don't think so. But I wouldn't. I don't buy meat from the EU. I only eat Norwegian meat. But anyway, I mean, it's up to you to decide what you eat, but it does have an effect on your hormonal levels, and that again has an effect on your desire to procreate. Let's put it that way. We are animals after all, and that's just how it is. Yeah, so that's one part of it, I guess, that in order for people to find a partner, they first must want to find a partner. And if they are depressed, maybe they don't want that. If they are not functioning properly in a sexual manner, then they might not feel that they should get a partner. I don't know. I don't know. But that's my guess. But then if you decide that you want a partner and you are middle-aged, then you will have a bigger problem finding that partner, because now, of course, your what's the expression? No, I can't remember. But anyway, it's many people are taken at that age, even though many people are single. Then why are those people single? There's also that question. Some people are just difficult people. Some people are difficult to be with, and those people are most likely not in relationships. Those who are easier to be with, caring, loving people, they are probably still in their relationships from a long time ago, you know? Now, there is no mRNA in the Norwegian meat. It's, I know you can think that, but that's not actually how it is. So, now we'll get comments. Yes, there is. Yes, there is. Oh, you don't know anything, and all of that. But anyway, we'll leave that for another time. Canadian Spiderman says, I don't recommend relationships today. They involve the government after 6 months legally here. Best to stay single. Yeah, well, I think that there is a cultural difference between at least Scandinavia and where I'm from, and Canada and the USA. Because over there, people are talking about marriage, like that's what you do. Why do you have to marry? Why do you have to marry? I don't get it. What has the state to do with your relationships? I don't get it. But there is also another thing. I want to finish with that thing, that other thing. People change, and they are they are changed by contemporary culture. But some people, they don't change so much. Um, and the more you isolate yourself away from contemporary culture, the less that culture will change you. Okay. And here's me speaking from personal experience. I haven't changed much. My morals are the same as they were when I was in my 20s. Those have not changed. My ethical standards are the same. But what I have noticed is that people have changed a lot during the last decades, and not for the good. And I don't lower my standards, you know. Some of you will be able to relate to that. If you don't lower your standards, if you don't tell yourself, oh, this is just how people are now, so I must accept that. If you don't do that, you will find that there are very, very few people out there that will fit you as friends, as lovers, partners, and so on and so on. It's something that is difficult for people to comprehend, but it is a thing. It's maybe not so common because most people do get they are changed by the culture they live in. But if you don't, you're going to experience that you stand on the sideline and you're just observing how people are changing according to the current culture. And it's not pretty. It's not pretty. Do we have an influx of the Christians here again? I can't see it. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, Carola says something here. If you are not happy single, you won't be happy with a partner. I actually disagree with that. I think that two people who fit well together can make each other very happy, even if they were not happy to begin with. Yeah, there is a delay here in the chat today. Something's not quite right with YouTube today. Yeah, Christianity thing here. I don't know what's going on with that. Yeah, but anyway, I don't see any of this changing anytime soon. And it's honestly, it's part disgusting and part depressing to look at, because it didn't have to be like this. It did not have to be like this. And when I see women now, and I'll give you my honest opinion about women now. It goes for both young women and middle-aged women. They have such a low self-esteem, and they seem to be completely brainwashed by contemporary culture. Um, they inject themselves with all sorts of manners to have these puffy lips. They think that they can't have wrinkles, and they cover themselves in tattoos, poke holes in their bodies, and imagine that they're so strong and independent and all of that. You're not. So that's the truth. You're not. Now, anyone claiming to be so fucking strong and independent, what I want to do is when I hear that is I want to grab you by the ear and drag you out into the woods and put you down and leave you there. And it gets dark. And you can tell yourself that you're so fucking strong and independent. It gets dark. And you can tell yourself that you're happy alone, you know, you're so single and free and all of that. And it gets so dark. And you would pay all of your money almost for some company in that situation. When the lights go out, you're not strong and independent anymore. You're not. You're just a pack animal that lost its pack. And that's the truth. Yeah, we'll put this guy here, whatever it is, in a timeout. um, Come to this side of the world, plenty of keepers. Where is that side of where is that? Where is that? Yeah. But about grabbing that strong and independent woman and putting her out in the woods all alone, you get that that's just something that I'm saying to illustrate how fake that perception is. But there are people out there who truly believe that they take for granted this world that has been built around them to make life easy. Built by men, by the way, most likely. Most often, they're they are the bricklayers. Um, and it's like, yes, that world is there. So you could say that, well, I'll just stay here in this civilized world. But we're only 4 meals away from anarchy. And by anarchy, I don't mean, well, I'll try. I promised previously I won't use anarchy as I'm an anarchist, but I won't use that. So I shouldn't use that term. We're only 4 meals away from complete chaos and people killing each other for a bottle of clean water. That's what I meant. That could be the new reality TV show. Yeah, I will. That would be funny. That would be funny. Yeah, Canadian Spider-Man says, funny how they don't push for equality in sewer workers. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good point. Yes. How is it that there are laws in Norway. They have a stupid law about there needs to be a certain percentage of women in the boardrooms of the companies. Why do they not have the same law for bricklayers, people working in the sewers, and so on? um, Iron Chef says, after marriage, I took my wife camping her first time. She couldn't pee in the forest. Are you still married? A Spark of Divine Tarot says, I love camping with my husband, but Norwegian men don't like marriage. Yeah, that is true. I will say that I'm not talking down concerning women doing in the trades at all. There was a female plumber here doing, I mean, the plumbing in my second house was some of it was outside of the wall. It's beautiful. I mean, it's artwork almost. How she did it, that was the best piece of craft work I've seen for a long time. Yeah, female plumber. Yes, actually, never seen that before. But yeah, and she did excellent work. Very beautiful. I didn't know plumbing could be beautiful, but it is. So, yeah. And I will say I much prefer that to some fat guy with pants hanging down. Yeah. So, okay. What's the term what's the term? You call it when misogyny? Misogyny. Yeah. I've done enough misogyny now. This is not misogyny, but there are some people who would say that it is. And, you can't make these people happy anymore. I mean, I'm all for, personal freedom, as long as you're not being irresponsible and putting other people at risk. Do what you like. But that does not mean that I have to like it, or it doesn't mean that I would accept that from someone that I was close to. You get what I'm saying? Do as you like does not go for your husband or wife or girlfriend or boyfriend. Do as you like. Well, do as you like, of course, but if what you want to do is getting drunk every Saturday, that's probably not going to go well with your partner. Yeah, but anyway. Yeah, Canadian Spider-Man, good point. We have record number of unhappy women on meds. Yeah, that is true. That is true. Okay, Spider-Man says, after a couple of years, you no longer need a woman or the stress. Um, yeah, I see where you're coming from there, but I still think that we as men, we should be with a woman. I think that's what we are meant to be, how we are meant to live. But also, I think that it's unnatural not to have a male community. If you look at hunter gatherers in the Amazon rainforest, I think they have this. They have a house for the men and a house for the women, and so on. So those male spaces are important. And that is interesting. Where have the male spaces gone? We need male community. We can't expect our woman to be taking that role that the male community should have. But those spaces have been taken away from us, and now I don't know, but we have some people in other, not in Norway, but in some countries, people go to the pub. I think that's not a healthy option because it involves drinking alcohol, and if you do that too often, it's not good. But yeah. Crackshot 322 says, as a man, have standards. If she has issues, move on to the next. Yeah. What do you think about the alpha males? I think they're ridiculous. The term itself is stupid. I'm not an alpha male, and I don't think you are either. And I'm not an alpha male because I don't have a group that I'm leading. And isn't that what it means? If you're an alpha male, you have someone that you are leading. You have a group, you're the alpha of that group. But I get it. They like to call themselves alphas. I'm an alpha. Yeah. Is there something called Omega now? Trump is an alpha. Maybe he was once. Now he's just a disturbed old man. Yeah, I don't care about those modern names. I think they're a little bit stupid. Alpha, beta, omega, sigma. Okay. Yeah, I am watching what Trump does, and I don't like it so much. No other president had the balls to go into Iran. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we'll not get into that, but I'll just say that given the recent warnings about terror attacks coming to Norway, I don't like it so much. Yeah, it's going to end badly, of course. It's going to end badly. It's popular among some people now, but you will see. You will see. You will see. It's not going to end well. Okay, we'll end there. And yeah, have a wonderful day or evening. So, okay, bye bye.